All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a really powerful idea today. This concept that real leadership, true leadership, isn't just about telling people what to do. Nope, it's about being an architect of encouragement. So let's dive in and see what that actually means.
Go on, take a second. Picture that person in your head. What was it about them? I'm willing to bet it wasn't just that they managed your tasks, right? No, they did something more. They managed your motivation. It's like they saw the potential in you, maybe even before you saw it in yourself, and they helped you bring it out. That difference, that's exactly what we're digging into today. You see, every single leader, whether they realize it or not, stands at a kind of crossroads, and they have to make a choice. This choice splits the path in two, creating these two totally different kinds of leaders, and believe me, they have wildly different impacts on their teams.
Look at this. The difference is it's night and day, isn't it? On one side, you've got the discouraging leader. You know the type. They focus on every little flaw. They hold on to information like it's a state secret. They criticize in public, and they punish every mistake. And then, you've got the encouraging leader. They're all about recognizing effort, sharing what they know, praising people publicly, and, this is huge, seeing mistakes as a chance to learn something. It's literally the difference between tearing a team down and building it up from a strong foundation.
And this right here, this is the whole point. This is why it matters so much. A discouraging style, it basically puts a lid, a hard ceiling, on what your team can ever hope to achieve. But an encouraging style, well, that just blows the lid right off. It unlocks potential that people didn't even realize they had. So at the end of the day, your approach as a leader is what either builds or completely shatters your team's ability to succeed.
Okay, so the big question is, how do you actually become that encouraging leader? Because it's not just about, being cheerful and having a positive attitude. That's part of it, sure, but it's really about having a system, a deliberate plan. Let's break down how we can turn this great idea into a practical, step-by-step plan you can actually use. And here it is. It's a simple, but honestly a really powerful 3-step system. First up, observe and identify. This means you actively start looking for the good stuff. You're on the hunt for effort, for contributions, for those small wins that often go unnoticed. Okay, step 2, acknowledge and specify. This is so important. You don't just say, hey, good job. No way, you get specific. Something like, wow, Sarah, the way you handled that tough client call with so much patience, that completely de-escalated the situation. See the difference? And finally, step 3, connect and empower. You take that specific action and you tie it back to the team's goals. You show them exactly how what they did helps move everyone forward. That's how you make people feel valued. Now, doing this stuff is great. It really is. But for it to actually stick, for it to have a lasting impact, it needs the right environment to grow in. Think about it. A single encouraging comment in a really toxic culture, it's like trying to plant a flower in concrete. It's just not going to survive. So the leader's real job is to cultivate the soil, to create an atmosphere where this kind of encouragement isn't the exception, it's the norm.
And this is such a critical idea to grasp. Every single day, your actions, your behaviors, they're the bricks and mortar of your team's culture. You are the one laying the foundation with everything you do. And over time, that culture you build becomes this powerful, self-sustaining thing that holds the whole team up and keeps everyone motivated. So how do you actually build that atmosphere? Well, here are the blueprints. First, you have to make it safe for people to try things, and yes, even to fail. Failure can't be a death sentence, it has to be a lesson. Second, you celebrate the journey, the progress along the way, not just the final win. Third, and this is non-negotiable, you have to model the behavior yourself. You lead by example. And finally, you have to ask for people's input, and then actually listen. That's how you show them they matter. All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most transformative part of the whole thing. It requires a fundamental shift in how we even think about success and performance. It's all about changing what you choose to focus on and what you talk about with your team. The concept is called encouraging self-evaluation. And what does that mean? Well, instead of you, the leader, being the one and only judge and jury on what's a success and what's a failure, you switch roles. You become a guide. You help your team members look back and reflect for themselves on their own effort, on their contributions, on what they learned. This is huge for building a sense of ownership and self-awareness. This right here, this quote just cuts straight to the heart of the matter. Imagine shifting the conversation away from just, did you hit the target? And instead asking, What did you contribute? Tell me about the effort you put in. What did we learn from this? When you do that, everything changes. You start to recognize that even if the final result wasn't perfect, so much valuable work and learning still happened.
And this is where you see the real long-term payoff. When people feel seen for their effort, they become way more resilient. They stop just chasing praise from the outside. Instead, they start building this powerful internal engine of motivation. They drive themselves to get better because they've learned to value the process itself, not just the final prize.
So, as we wrap this up, it all comes back to taking action. Being an architect of encouragement isn't some title someone hands you. It's a choice you make every single day with every single action. So I'm going to leave you with a question, a challenge, really. After everything we've talked about, what is one specific, encouraging thing you're going to do this week?